On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing the S&P Shiller and FHFA home price indices, as well as new home sales for January 2024. Today is Tuesday, February 27, 2024. I'm Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Good morning. Welcome back into the hot sheet. Let me know in the live chat which market you are tuning in from, as I'm tuning in my last day here from Orlando, Florida, experiencing the Tom Ferry Elite Retreat. Amazing event. As always, I got to see so many of you here in the last 24 hours. And for that, I'm super thankful. Super thankful for all of you here watching BAM content each and every single day. And of course, the hot sheet. If you want to get the most out of what we do at BAM, join BAMX, use code HOT to get 10% off of your BAMX membership. It's where we release our show notes from the show here each and every single day, as well as all of our daily downloads. All right, let's jump into the gold standard. The S&P Shiller Home Price Index has been released. Of course, this is lagging data, and we know most of this already. But we want to confirm our previous reports from indices like Zillow or Redfin or Realtor, CoreLogic, or many of the other ones. We want to, or not CoreLogic, this is CoreLogic, S&P CoreLogic Shiller, but many of the other ones that we cover. So S&P CoreLogic Shiller, U.S. National Home Price NSA Index. What a name. Wouldn't suggest you having that long of a name for your company or any of your branding. But when you're doing a home price index, I guess it's appropriate. 5.5% gain reported for Shiller in December 2023. That's year over year. Of course, just yesterday we're talking about 5+% as you go January to January. This is Shiller, so it's always 30 days behind. And the annual gain for 2023 essentially is coming in at 5.5% according to Shiller. It's up from a 5% increase the month before in November. So November to December showing a full half a point up when you look at year over year numbers. The 10-city composite showed an increase of 7%, and the 20-city composite posted a year-over-year increase of 6.1%. Jumping in here to some commentary from Brian Luke, head of commodities, real and digital assets at the S&P Dow Jones Indices. We've got these quotes here in the show notes for you. U.S. home prices face significant headwinds in the fourth quarter of 23. However, a seasonally adjusted basis, the S&P Shiller home price indices continued its streak of 7 consecutive record highs. So for everybody that says, geez, prices are due to drop and they're softening, we're talking about record highs for 7 consecutive months, 7 consecutive reports from Shiller. These aren't just increases in home values. These are new record after new record after new record. Many believe that 2023, we'd have down years, and we set new all-time highs across America. It's often why if you have a reason to buy in a 7, 10, 12-year window, which is when most people's home tenure, lasts for, and you're waiting and waiting to try to time the market, you're significantly playing a risky game because you're going to miss out on these gains. Okay, so 10 of the 20 markets beat prior records. San Diego registering an 8.9% gains. Las Vegas, the fastest rising market in December, after accounting for seasonal impacts. 2023 U.S. housing gains haven't followed such a synchronous? No. Come on, Bobby, help me. Synchronous. A synchronous pattern. Jeez. Vanessa, our senior editor, is saying, get this guy off the air. He is out of his mind. Okay. Since the COVID housing boom, a rising tide lifts all boats seems appropriate, given broad-based performance in the U.S. housing sector. Okay, let's take a look at some of this. Let's take a look at some of this local data that they have here on the S&P Shiller indices. If we go, here we go. Here's the table for 2023. Local levels. You see Atlanta up 6.3%. This is all of 2023. It's year over year for December. Boston 7.2%. Charlotte 8%. Chicago 8.1%. Cleveland 7.4%. Dallas is 2.1%. Some others that stand out: Detroit at 8.3. It's a big number. LA at 8.3. You've got Miami at 7.8. We've got New York coming in at 7.6. Some of the markets that were flat: Portland at 0.3%, still up, but relatively flat there. And some of the lower ones would be Seattle and San Francisco down at 3%. But really, when you look at this, these are all very good numbers. The change from December, from November to December, you do see some negatives there. Boston down 0.8%, Detroit down 0.7%, Cleveland and Dallas down 0.7%, Portland is down a full percent, Minneapolis is down a full percent. Not really any notable gains from November to December on this 20-city composite. The 20 major cities here, as covered by Shiller. LA's up 0.1%, Miami's up 0.3%, Atlanta's flat, but mostly ticking down from November to December, which should make sense based on everything we observed in the winter. And there you go. That's your Shiller index. So confirming everything we know, record prices across America in 2023, all new record highs. And the only question left is, are we going to set more record highs by the end of this spring? Let's jump into the FHFA house price index. Their HPI, their quarterly report, is now out as well. Let's see what they're confirming in their numbers. And are they confirming these beliefs that we know to be true of the records high? Annual house price trends, U.S. home price witnessed a 6.5% increase between Q4 2022 and Q4 2023. So we're looking at 5.5 for Shiller and 6.5 for the FHFA, marking a consistent upward trajectory since 2012. Okay, so they're up a full percent over where Shiller is. The quarterly comparison, house prices experienced a 1.5% increase from Q3 2023 to Q4 2023. Indicating steady growth pattern within a year. Monthly variation, the FHFA's seasonally adjusted monthly index for December showed a marginal increase of 0.1% from November, reflecting a relatively stable market for the end of the year. State level appreciation, where it was the highest, house prices rose in 49 states. The following states leading the pack, and the biggest numbers would be Rhode Island, 15 plus annual appreciation, 15% plus. Vermont, 13% up. West Virginia up over 12%. Connecticut up over 12%. Jersey up over 11%. Mississippi up almost 10%, along with Michigan, New York, South Carolina, Wisconsin, all up over 9%. There were only two areas experiencing depreciation. That'd be Hawaii, 1.16%, and then Washington, D.C. at negative 3.44%. So 49 states saw increases. The only ones that didn't, Hawaii, and then D.C., which many consider the 51st state, experiencing those declines. Okay, so FHA a little bit higher here. FHFA a little bit higher than what we're seeing with Shiller. And that's not uncommon to have a little bit of a variation there. The U.S. home prices increased modestly over the course of 2023. I don't know, modestly, I think a little bit above modestly, the acting deputy director for FHFA's Division of Research and Statistics. However, the market showed signs of softening as house price appreciation was lower in the fourth quarter than in the previous quarter. So that same, variable that we saw with Shiller, a little bit of slowing down going into the winter, which obviously does make sense. We've got new home sale data as well, just released. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows that new residential home sales in January were 1.5% above the revised December rate and 1.8% above the estimate for January. So new home sales continue to be very strong. This is driven, obviously, by the lack of inventory that we're experiencing across the country. New houses sold. Let's go take a look at this number. Of course, the charts will be available for you inside of BAMX, easy and accessible download. New houses sold, 661,000. New houses for sale, 456,000. The median sale price for new homes would be $420,700. And here's your chart here on new residential sales, total houses sold. So an uptick here in January 2024, but really kind of bouncing around that same range here throughout the last 12 months on new homes sold. Okay. Taking a closer look at new single family houses sold in the United States, that's 661,000 seasonally adjusted annual rate. Sits above where we were the last couple of months, but certainly well below where we were 2020, 2021. A very strong market for builders. I'd advise every single agent to know the inventory of new construction inside and out as you're educating your buyers, even if it's limited inventory. Okay. I've got a story of an agent that was showing some new construction recently. I'm not going to say where or who, but showing some new construction recently, and in a market with very little inventory, very little new construction inventory. And a buyer brought up a project that's not even, I mean, it's literally just a lot, right? But this project has been approved. It's being marketed. So you've got renderings of what it could be. And when you're showing one new construction, somebody asks you about this other one, even if it's a lot, not knowing basic information about it just means you're not looking at your market, right? And this agent didn't know any information about it, didn't have any homework, and was kind of caught off guard. Okay, this is something that I actually was able to have a conversation about, so I know some details here. And that buyer was like, well, yeah, I've been doing this research. They're doing all the research up front. And that's going to have an impact on whether those buyers decide to use that agent moving forward. The fact that agent didn't know where it was located, which was a mile or two from where they were at the other new construction property, didn't have any information on it at all. These buyers at least had basic information on the property because they're looking at the market and they're studying the market because they're interested in buying. This is table stakes for agents today to understand their market. Obviously, what we're covering here at the macro level on the hot sheet, but to understand their market at the local level, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes a day to just look at what new inventory is coming on. Why not make a call to the listing agent and say, congratulations on this new development? When's it going to be projected to be finished? Okay, 12 months, 18 months. Okay, great. If I were to drive over there and take a look, can I walk around? Is there anything I should know? I've got some interested buyers potentially that are 12 to 18 months out. Maybe they'd make a deposit, right? There's a lot of value in having that conversation, of getting that information, so that when you're asked the question, you're educated in front of your buyers. You're preparing for that moment of when those questions might come up. You're preparing for that opportunity. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity for builders in new construction, and there could be opportunity for agents and investors in those situations if they know about that market. 4.295 on the 10-year. So we're still riding here above the 4.25 level. Not ideal for those of us that want to see a 30-year start getting lower. We saw an increase on the 30-year yesterday, 7.13, up from 7.08 to end the week last week. Any buyers that are locking under 7% right now are certainly in a good spot. I don't know why anybody's talking fives right now in this climate. You're only going to annoy buyers when they go and find out that is not an option for them. Starting the day here on this Tuesday, we've got Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all down. Of course, we just saw the 10-year is up. See what happens throughout the day. See what happens to that 30-year as we move into this Tuesday. Later on today on the main channel here at 2 p.m., we'll have a new Real Word pod coming back from a break last week. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our content at BAM. And of course, to get the most out of it, join BAMX and use code HOT to get the lowest price on that. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 9:30 on the East, 6:30 on the West. You know the deal in between. And until then, toodaloo.